Imagine a warm and filling soup that tastes like Nana cooked it all day. I'm making pasta fagioli, which is pasta and fagioli, which are beans. It can be a soup, it can be a stew. It's a delicious meal that tastes like someone cooked it for hours and hours and hours. But you can make it with a lot of pantry items or with like the freshest derivative ingredients from other recipes. So I think it's a winner. The foundation of a soup is really the base that you start making it with. This can be a whole bunch of things, like carrot, onion, celery, garlic, onion, carrot, bell pepper, onion, celery. Really, it's up to you, but you've got to have a base. The combinations don't really matter. So today I'm using what I had in the fridge, which was 2 carrots, an onion, and some garlic. Let's start by slicing up some garlic. We'll break the skins, chop off the nub. That usually helps it peel, sometimes. Although, I've tried all the hacks, none of them work. I know it's sad, because we want a quick fix, but it don't exist, I promise. We've got some carrot now. If you want to be fancy about it, you can use a vegetable peeler, peel the skin off. The other thing you could do is just like scrub it clean, up to you. We cut the carrots into thirds, then we'll cut it in half this way, make them flat, cut it in half again, all right? Well, now I'm approximately 5% short on my carrot. It's okay. Onion. Cut off the North Pole, cut through the poles like that, okay? And then what you do is you peel this, you keep the root together to hold it together. You know what I've noticed? Even like the finest 3-star Michelin chefs, when they do their videos on how to cut an onion, they always do it really, really quick, and they have like 1/3 of it wasted because there's no fast way to do the end. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's true. So here we go. We've got this holding it together. We've got this bit cut off. Let's just cut some bits down like this. A lot of people go this way too, but there's already this natural break in the onions. I think it's a waste of time. Stay away from it. Come straight down like this. And at this point, this is when they go, see, that's how you cut an onion. And they leave this thing here because it's falling away from you, it's off camber, the bits that you cut through are no longer through. So I think you just have to kind of just like go for it, you know, as its own thing to create the nub. It's beautiful. We've got the onion to create the incredible base that'll absorb all the flavor. We've got the carrot for the color and the sweetness, and we've got the garlic for the aromatic. And I'm bringing the tears for the drama. Let's get some oil in the pan. Olive oil going in. And let's go in with our carrots first, because they're the strongest. The onion. And now the garlic. A little salt. And that's the foundation for a soup. Remember, use what you've got. Once that's golden, smelling fantastic, translucent, you can add some tomato sauce. Here's where pasta fagioli gets so fantastic, because you could literally just put a can of tomatoes in. If you had a jar of tomato sauce for pizza or pasta, you could put that in. Me, I got leftover sauce from the other night. I'm using it here. It's the perfect way to use it up. And here's a little tip. Every last drop. All right, bring that up to temp. In a lot of ways, this is a dump and stir recipe. Next, the beans. Again, these could be a can of beans that you rinsed, but these are some fantastic lemon garlic beans that I made the other night that I have extra of. Let's throw them in. That starch is gonna thicken this whole thing up. Let's get that pasta going, what do you say? Salt? That's salty in a good way. Okay, so, you know, pasta is literally just flour and water that's dried out, right? So there's pretty much no flavor here, it's all texture, other than the flavor of the wheat. It's such a shame to cook it in unsalted water because you get the texture and the flavor of the wheat, but it's so plain. I want this to be like the star of the show. So when you salt this properly, it cooks that pasta through with an enormous amount of seasoning. So when you take it out, you're like, man, that's delicious. Because it is, because salt is delicious. Pasta. These are ditalini, which means little fingers. It's a good shape because in general, you want the pasta shape and size to match the things that are in the sauce or the soup that you're making. Now, admittedly, my beans are a little bit bigger, but you know what? They're so cooked and now they're gonna cook even more. It's gonna disintegrate. So I think it's good. I don't want big pieces of pasta in here. Have you ever had like big pieces of penne in a soup? That doesn't sound pleasing to me. No, you want little stelline, you know, the stars, ditalini. That's what you want. All right, so we're gonna add the water in. This is how we really stretch this out. But this is also an opportunity for you to say, I want this to be more stewy, you know, and stop there. Or I want it to be more soupy and continue. The only other factor between the consistency that's something you want to keep an eye on is the salt level, right? As you dilute, the salt will go down. As you cook it down and it becomes more concentrated, the salt goes up. So remember, if you've cooked your stew down because you want it to be more stewy and it feels a little too salty, you can always thin it out and dilute it. Got water? We're gonna come in with a little bit of vinegar just to cut through. I feel like using a cap is a great way to measure. Just a capful. That'll give some brightness. It's gonna cut through all the richness that's happening here. It's very good. And then, we added all this water, right? Ideally, it's some kind of broth. So if you've got some, you know, soup base, bouillon paste, I would always go like under on the seasonings when you're making a soup because it does concentrate as it cooks and melts. And you can't take salt out, but you can always add it. Let's see where we're at. We'll hit it with a little bit of oregano too, optional. I think it's nice, especially in a stage like this in the dried form. Really let it work its way through and give you that, I'm kind of in the desert, but also by the seaside warmth. Don't know how to describe it any other way. Okay, that's looking really good. Percussionists, leave a comment. Let me know if I did that. Fagioli. The truth is I'll never sell concert tickets for my ukulele playing, so since I have a captive audience, I thought now would be a great time to get that out of my system. Dad always said, play ukulele for fun, not for financial support. All right, let's make some pasta fagioli. Okay, here's the deal. You definitely want to keep the pasta separate from the beans until you're ready to eat it, because this is a sponge, right? It'll just keep absorbing. And if you store the pasta with the fagioli, it's a big mess. It really is. So keep them separate until the last minute. Okay, before we get going here, let's tear some basil leaves right into our beans. There's two schools of thought on this. One is like, if you're not willing to grow or buy fresh basil, you don't deserve to use the ingredient. The other one is only ever put it in fresh, don't ever cook it. But then like Italian-American heritage, of which I'm definitely a part of, says like frying basil is nice, and then also putting it on fresh is nice, and then also stewing it is nice. I kind of agree with all of them. Like, why wouldn't I want basil in 3 different states of cookage? Fried, stewed, and finished. Meanwhile, here I am just doing it at the end. Mix it around. Here we go. All right, see now this is what I was talking about right here. See what I'm saying? Go like that with the pasta, boom, 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 move it around, nice. And give it a little sunbath on top. That almost looks great if I didn't make this huge mess right here. Let's fix it. That looks nice. Let's hit it with a little parm. This is gonna thicken it further. It's also just like cheese in soup is incredible, right? It's salt, it's awesome. My childhood is actually the pecorino cheese in the soup. Pepper? Why not? And you know what? This looks like an awfully good candidate for some finishing olive oil in a circle. Oh, little baby basil leaves. Boop, boop, boop. Here we are, pasta fagioli. It's a lunch, it's a dinner, it's a pantry clean out. It's delicious. Exceptional. This is a great dish because you can clean out your pantry with it and basically make a base of this super stew with whatever veggies you've got. I'm talking onions, carrots, celery, bell pepper, garlic, in any order, in any combination, in any quantity, it doesn't matter. Just build that flavorful base with real vegetables. And on top of it, build a little bit of tomato sauce. Could be canned, could be a sauce you made. That's the smarter one. Some beans, could be canned, could be leftover beans that you cooked from dried that are creamy and voluptuous. Also the smart move. And then finally, just some herbs and the pasta. A complete meal in a bowl, healthy, filling, affordable. You should totally make this, but not before I give you this tip. You pretty much can't mess up a pasta fagioli, but you can mess up how you store it if you don't eat it all. The marriage of pasta and beans should only take place under the supervision of a warm bowl that will be consumed in the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, the pasta is gonna just inflate into a mess. Long story short, store the pasta in one container, store the beans, soup in the other. Keep them separate. I'll put that in the fridge, and when I want some pasta fagioli, I'll dump it into a pan and bring it to the boil. And at the last moment, I'll throw my little pasta in there with some olive oil, stir it around so they heat through, maybe for a minute. Boom. I've got a meal that retains the texture of the original, but it's a leftover. Whew!